Hello, this is Wardog here. For a while people have asked me how I make my fake guides, so I thought I'd do a little tutorial on just putting a nice picture together and how to make something that looks like a screenshot for your fake guide. So, without further ado, let's start a new picture. We can do web or film and video. Yep, I usually do web. Okay. Now we got our picture here. Where I like to get my resources is at the sprites resource. Sprites resource. Okay. And I go here. And the Sprites resource always has just a nice ensemble of video game sprites that you can use for your video game. I've also been trying to draw my own characters and stuff like that, but that's going to need a lot of work. So, as of lately, I've been working on Kirby Staff of Seasons, so we're going to need some Kirby sprites here. So, let's try Cutter Kirby. Okay. We got Block Kirby, Kirby's abilities, all kinds of Kirbys here. Cutters, Wheels, Magic Kirby, Laser Kirby, Cutter Kirby, Cook Kirby. I couldn't think of it, I already actually have Cutter Kirby, actually. See, when I order mine up, I keep everything in their own folder. So I have screenshots, the music for the game, and the sprites, which you'll see here. And as you can see, I do have a Cutter. There's Cutter. Okay, so let's say, what don't we have? Bomb? Yeah, we'll go Bomb. There we go. And that'll be in my downloads folder, which is right over here. I'm going to take it and put it right in. Blah 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 blah, this blah 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 blah. That's probably going to do a lot of download. Okay, so while we wait for that, let's go, and one of the things we can do, we can just take the status bar here, hold down Command or Control for you PC users. Yes, I use old MacBook. Don't be mean. Alright, here we go. And paste. Alright. I'll just put that right down here. And there we go. Haha. Wonderful. And one thing I like to do, which I learned in college, is name your layers. It's very important. It lets you know what is what. Okay. Now we can delete this because we're going to be replacing that in just a moment. My download's done. We're going to take Bomb Kirby. We're going to drag him into my sprite file. We're going to right click, open with Photoshop. Zoom in on here. Let's try and get a sprite that we can use. We want like a real action-oriented one. There we go. Zoop. And Kirby's going to hold a bomb in his hand. Copy. Paste. Now you notice he's a little small. What we can do is scale him up, hold down Shift, and he won't get nearly as distorted as he would if you don't hold down Shift. He won't look stretched, which is very good. I'm going to use my Magic Wand tool. How crass. Photoshop's Magic Wand tool. I'm going to put Kirby here for now. It's going to be right here. And Kirby. Good Kirby. Alright. Now, Kirby needs some ammunition here. So let's get him a bomb. Copy. Paste. That bottom is way too small. Once again, hold down Shift. Magic wand. And there we go, looking pretty good. If you want to change the color, go to Adjustments, Hue and Saturation, and we can make it look a different color if you want. But that's okay. Another thing I like to do is just go to File, Open. Ignore that. Go to Warren's Ideas. I have a lot of ideas. Sadly, I don't upload even a quarter of them onto YouTube. I've been busy, folks, trust me. I'm graduating in 2 quarters. Or I think I'm graduating in 2 quarters. Okay, go to Sprites. I like using this so I can see exactly what these files are. Yeah, here we go. General rips. And this is a big old page, so let's zoom in. I'm using Command and the plus icon on my MacBook keyboard. That's how I'm zooming in. Here's bomb. Select. Move it on out. Copy. Paste. I mean, this is really self-explanatory. But I thought I'd show my process. Encourage others out there with an imagination and no programming knowledge. Or just the programming knowledge, but not the time to really get into all that nitty-gritty stuff. Okay. I'm going to name this bomb. I'm going to name this bomb icon. Okay. I'm going to go to General Rips again. And I do believe you can do this in text, but since they already did the work for us, I figure why not. You can get really fancy with your text and make something really cool. I'll show you that in a second, but for now, copy, paste, bomb. There we go. Now, it looks really boring with Kirby just standing there in the middle of nowhere. So let's get a background. We're going to File, Open, Backgrounds. Okay, and see a nice background we can use. Open. What about here? Use my selection tool. Hold in the corner. Select. Looks good. So auto snap on, so it tells me what I want. Well, what I'm selecting, not really what I want. It just so happens to be what I want. I'm babbling. Alright, scale. Again, hold Shift. Move it around. Shift again. Okay. Now you'll notice that it's overlapping my status bar and Kirby. Kirby's gone. We don't want that, so we're going to go to Layers. We're going to drag this down. If you use Photoshop before, you'll know this, but if you haven't, Photoshop goes in layers, and where you place your image shows exactly where it's going to show up. So you see it's below the status bar background. So that's where it's going to be. It's also below Kirby, so Kirby's going to be on top of it as well. Alright, now that we have our background, we're going to want some foreground. Okay, so let's deselect or Command D and go to Open, and we're going to want a foreground. Now I can always change this later, but for the sake of this tutorial I just want to save some time, so I'm going to use this. Okay, and I want to select as much as I can, because I can always just resize it and move it around later. Okay, so that looks about good. Hold on, let's do that again. I don't want that text there. We'll start here, we'll go down to here, we'll stop, and we'll go up to here. much better. Alright. Copy. Paste. You should always keep an eye on sizes and stuff like that, but since I've been doing this for a while and nothing has really stuck out for me, I don't become anal about that kind of stuff. But if there's one thing you want to do, it's keep an eye on sizes. Never make something look stretched or just look ugly. You want to make this as uniform and nice as possible. You want it to look like an actual video game screenshot. You see what I'm doing is I'm just using the pen tool and I'm selecting all the blue to get rid of that nasty background and give it something nice. Now we want it above the background but below the status. And there we go, foreground. Okay. Now it looks like Kirby's hovering, so there we go. And a little bit of ball. Luckily, you never really see shadows in the old sprite video games, so we don't have to really get into that. But Kirby needs someone to throw this bomb at. So, he needs enemies. He needs baddies. And here's my list of baddies. Again, all from Spyro's Resource. And at the credits of each video game I make, I always post credits to the people who ripped it, the people who sprited, all that kind of stuff. And if it's actually a custom sprite, I send an email for the one I want to use for permission because, well, it's not my stuff and I gotta ask permission. It's copyright, gentlemen. The copyright law. Alright, so we're going to go to Entitled and we're going to File, Paste. And there's him. Scale him up a little bit, because that's definitely the kind of songs you think of when you think Kirby. And hit this. This was deselect, by the way. You just hit delete. Okay. And he's right here. And it's over. So maybe we'll just color correct him. Lower that saturation. There we go. Now we play. Alright. Back to enemies. You'll see all these characters here. Just hit this. Quickly go to the one we want. And go to one of these pellets. Zoom in a little bit here. Up. Select this. Copy. Paste. Okay. Now, one of the things I use for health bars and projectile items like this, I don't always copy and paste because that just gets repetitive and then you get a lot of layers. What's this thing called? Shot Zo? Well, it is for now. Shot Zo pellet. Okay. Right click, duplicate layer. Hit OK. I can move this up here. Let's do it again. Right click, duplicate layer. OK. There. Now, you'll see that we have a lot of layers here, and it'll look very cluttered. So what we want to do is hold Shift, select all three, merge layers. Now let's name this a group name, Shot Zo pellets, plural. Okay. And that. Let's add another enemy. What do you guys think? Kibble? You guys like Kibble? Well, if Kibble looked like he's about to throw his little little guy right there. Alright. Copy. Paste. Scale. Hold Shift. A little big. About roughly the same size as Kirby. That's good. There we go. select. Put him over here. Oop. Let's see, there's a little bit of the other guy that I got. Don't worry, you should be able to just select it. Hold down shift while selecting. Select multiple colors. Hit delete. It's gone. You could have also used the brush tool or eraser tool, but that's alright. And see little shades of blue. We want to go back down to that layer and kind of clean this up. Go down to the layer, foreground, kind of get those little pieces of blue. Make it look more like it belongs in the scene. And you want to do as many blue guys as you can. So it looks nice. And we're going to do this for quite a while. Keep moving. Oh yeah, that's important. And you get the idea. I'll do this a little later. Okay. So zoom out. Zoom out. And there we have our first screenshot. We can do a lot more here. We can go to the background. We could even maybe add. Sorry, filter. We can blur the background to make it look like it's a bit of the center. Excuse me. Gaussian blur. Oh, thank you. And we can just bump that up a little bit. See how that is. Hit OK. Oh, I made a mistake. I had something selected, so I couldn't make the change. Alright, now. Filter. Blur. Gaussian blur. That's a little too much. 1.5 is about right. Blur separates the background from the foreground. And really, you can do just a lot more. And I don't want to get into too much detail because I want you to just get the basic idea. And yeah, if you ever come up with an idea or something, make a fake guide sometime. And you don't have to, it'll just be something that's kind of cool. We can do it together, you know? Be like friends and stuff like that. But, that. And there we have our picture. If you like this tutorial and you want to see more videos, send a comment and I'll post some more. For now, take it easy. Word out.